So hello and welcome viewers. You are watching Crimson Rays, and today I am back with a new poem which is in your ICSC English Literature syllabus. I hope you have already seen in the thumbnail. That is The Bangle Sellers, written by Sarojini Naidu. Sarojini Naidu was one of the most prominent figures in the Indian freedom struggle. She took part very actively and she had a very great role in it, and also she was a great poetess. She wrote many poems, and in most of her poems the theme which is predominant is Indian theme, Indian culture, Indian tradition, etc. She has projected in her poems. So in the present poem, The Bangle Sellers, she has covered, she has shown us the depicted the Indian womanhood. She has celebrated the Indian womanhood here. Uh, First of all, when the poem opens, we shall find the bangle sellers. They are carrying the bangles to the temple fairs. But gradually, in the consecutive stanzas, we shall find that she will be describing the different stages of life of Indian women with the different shades, different colors of bangles. Okay, this poem is full of imageries, and the selection of language is very satisfying. And you have to understand the imageries, you have to understand the similes. That's why then the poem will be very transparent, very clear to us, clear to you. Okay, let us start with the first stanza. It starts like, bangle sellers are we who bear our shining loads to the temple fair. Who will buy these delicate bright rainbow tinted circles of light, lustrous token of radiant lives for happy daughters and happy wives? Students, the bangles, they actually play a very important role in the lives of Indian women. We have to keep it in our mind that this poem was written at the time when India was under the British rule, before the freedom of India. Okay, so this poem is written on the scenario, on the condition of the time when India was under the colonial rule. Okay, so at that time and at present time also, bangles plays a very important role in Indian life of Indian women. So here in the first stanza, the bangle seller is telling that they are the bangle sellers who carry the load of bangles to the temple fairs, where the prospective buyers would come, the women of different ages will come to buy their bangles. He is asking as if a rhetoric question, that who are going to buy these bangles, the delicate bright rainbow tinted circle of light. Delicate, that means, bangles are very delicate, fragile, bright. Obviously the different shades, different colors of bangles are very bright. And rainbow tinted circles of light. Rainbow tinted, this phrase shows that there are various colors of bangles present. As there are various colors in 7 colors in rainbow, there are various colors of bangles are present at the stock of the bangle sellers. Circle of light, as if it is kind of, the bangles are circular in size, in shape. That's why he is telling circle of life. In another way, it also shows the life circle of humans, particularly the women, Indian women. Okay, for happy daughters and happy wives, basically the bangles are related to the lives of Indian women, and especially during the time of happiness, celebration, festivals, etc., etc. That's why the bangle seller is telling, for happy daughters and happy wives, means it is suitable for the different ages of women. Maybe it's a means girl, that means it's maiden, or it's a wife, or it's a mature lady. There will be all types of bangles suited for all ages in the stock of the bangle sellers. Okay, now let us come to the next stanza. It starts like, some are meet for maiden's wrist, silver and blue as the mountain mist. Some are flushed like the birds that dream on the tranquil brow of the woodland stream. Some are aglow with the bloom that cleaves to the limpid glory of newborn leaves. From this stanza, the poetess enters into the life of, the stages of in women, and these stanzas are full of visual imageries, and the language is also very beautiful. Let us try to understand. Some are meet for maidens wrist. Meet means suitable, fit. So some bangles are suitable for the wrist of maiden. Maiden means the girls or women who are not married. Okay, silver and blue as the mountain mist. Here we can see the use of simile, silver and blue as the mountain mist. So some bangles are there which are silver or blue in color, and the color of silver and blue is compared to the color of mountain mist that are covered, that covers the mountain, and when we look from distance it looks almost bluish or silvery in color. So some bangles are there which are silvery and bluish, and which are suitable for the wrist of maidens, unmarried girls. Some are flushed like the birds that dream on the tranquil brow of a woodland stream. Some are flushed. Flushed means pinkish, slightly reddish in color, like the birds that dream. Birds, you mean, you know, the means we can say the childhood of a flower. The before a flower blooms, it remains as a bird. Okay, so the poet is here comparing, means describing that the color of a bird is kind of pinkish, kind of reddish in color, and the birds which grow on the edge of any woodland stream, at the edge of any forest, there is a stream going, and at the edge of the stream, edge of the river, when there are plants and there are birds are waiting to bloom there. So here the use of imagery is very important, very beautiful rather. Here the poet is trying to relate the birds with the maidens, as the birds who that is going to bloom someday, going to bloom the next day, and it has a lot of dream inside it. The petals are still not spread out. Similarly, the women, the maidens who are going to get maturity at the next stage of our life, who are going to get married, and they have a lot of dream in their heart. Similarly, the birds, they also have a lot of dream. They have the dream to bloom, they have the dream to spread their beauty, spread their color, spread their fragrance. Okay, so some bangles are there which are suited for the maiden's wrist, and they are flushed in color, means pinkish in color. And the last two lines tells that some are aglow with the bloom that cleaves to the limpid glory of a newborn leaves. Newborn leaves mean the leaves which has just now come out or has recently come out from the branches. They are transparent. Limpid means transparent. The leaves, the small leaves, they are actually glossy. They are actually almost transparent. Okay, and it suggests that there are some bangles which are actually green in color, and they are suitable for the maidens. So here you can tell that the blue and the silvery color, the pink or the reddish color, and the green color, actually they are symbol of purity. Here the poetess is somehow trying to relate the concept of purity, chastity with the maidenhood. The poetess is trying to tell that the girl who are maiden, they are actually pure, and she is trying to highlight the chastity of the women, of the maidens. That's why she is using the color like blue or the silvery or the green, which are actually showing the purity, which actually shows the purity of the maidens. Okay, let's come to the next stanza. It tells that some are like fields of sunlit corn, meet for a bride on her bridal morn. Some like the flame of her marriage fire, or rich with the hue of her heart's desire, tinkling luminous, tender and clear, like her bridal laughter and bridal tear. This stanza is also full of imageries which are used here is that of a sunlit cornfield. If you have seen the cornfield, it it looks like yellow, and when the sunlight falls upon it, it becomes brighter even. Okay, so the poet is telling that there are some bangles which are suited for the maidens to be worn on their wrist on the on the morning of their marriage. Okay, some like the flame of her marriage fire, or rich with the hue of her heart's desire. So the fire plays a very important role in the Hindu marital rituals. So the poetess is telling that some bangles are there which are suited for the maidens, and which are of the color of bright orange or reddish orange. Okay, and some bangles are also there which are the color of the heart's desire. Now, what is the color of heart's desire? Normally, the desire, passion, love, all these things are related to the color of red. So some red bangles are there which are suited for the which are suited for the women or girl who are going to get married, and they will wear the bangles on the day of their marriage. Okay, tinkling, luminous, tender and clear, like her bridal laughter and bridal tear. The poetess is telling that the bangles, they make some kind of tinkling sound, this kind of onomatopoeia, and luminous, they are bright, tender as they are fragile, and the poet is relating all this thing with the bridal laughter and bridal tears, like as the tinkling sound of the bangle is just like the bridal laughter, the laughter of the bride on the day of her marriage. Now, the thing which we have to understand here is the use of two words, the bridal laughter, bridal tears. These two phrases are very important. Here the poetess is trying to highlight the transition of the woman's life. Means she was maiden, but when she is getting married, so there will be mixed emotion in her. She will be happy because she is getting married, and at the same time there will be some sort of sorrow, some sort of pain in her heart, because she has to leave her parents' house and she has to go to her husband's house. That's why there will be some sort of sorrow also. That's why the poetess is telling bridal laughter and bridal tear. So we can see that in this stanza the poetess is highlighting that the bangles which are suited for the maidens are actually yellow, bright yellow in color, bright red or bright orange in color, and red in color. Okay, now come to the last stanza of the poem, which says, some are purple and gold flecked grey, for she who has journeyed through life midway, whose hands have cherished, whose love has blessed, and cradled fair sons on her faithful breast, and serves her household in fruitful bride, and worships the gods at her husband's side. So in this final stanza, the poetess is showing us another transformation in the woman's life. After getting married, she had spent a lot of years, and now she has matured. Now the bangles which are suited for the matured women are the color of purple, color of gold flecked gray. Okay, the purple is the color of grandeur. It's kind of royal color. Means it shows that the woman who has completed half of the journey of her life, she has actually got maturity. She is matured. She has got a lot of experience. Okay, and that's why the purple colored bangles are suited for her. And the gray is also a symbol of maturity. She has attained maturity in her life, and the gold flecked, the specks of gold in it even makes it more valuable. Means it gives the value to her experience, to her grandeur. Okay, for she who has journeyed through life midway, whose hands have cherished means cared, whose love has blessed means bless, and cradled fair sons on her faithful breast. It is the poet is showing that the woman, she has given birth to her children. Here she is particularly talking about male children. She is telling sons. She has not told daughters. So here some critics tells that it reflects the patriarch type of society. The time when the poetess wrote the poem, it was kind of patriarchal society where male children or male dominance was prevalent. That's why she has not talked about daughters, rather she has talked about sons. Okay, and serves her household in fruitful pride. So here the poetess is telling that the faithful breast is it's a reference to the breastfeeding of a mother. In a larger sense, it indicates the love and care and tenderness of a mother to her offsprings, to her children, and serves her household in fruitful pride. Now she has the woman who has got maturity now, who has come to the middle of her life's journey. She has served her family, she has taken care of her family, she has been very responsible with her family, she has taken care of her children, she has reared her children, and she has worshipped the gods beside her husband. That means she has been celebrating all the rituals of the religious rituals. Now she is a complete woman. So this is how Sarojini Naidu shows us the journey of a woman's life in Indian perspective. Okay, so from the beginning we have seen that the poetess takes us to the journey of a woman's life from her maidenhood. Then she becomes a bride, she gets married, and then she become a mature woman, and she gives birth to children, she rears them up, she takes care of her family, and this is how the journey of a woman, Indian woman, continues and gets maturity. So this is how the Bangle Sellers by Sarojini Naidu shows us the journey of an Indian woman, and how the life of a woman goes on in Indian woman goes on. Okay, and that's why this poem is a celebration of the womanhood. This is a kind of tribute to the woman who dedicates their life, who sacrifice their life for the well-being of their family, for the well-being of her offsprings, of her children. Okay, so after the discussion, I hope you have got a clear concept of the poem. Now if you have anything to comment, you can write it down there, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe the channel and share the video as much as possible, so that you can get all the classes from this channel. Okay, so see you with the next topic.